But anyway, like I said, next is the Orange Cassidy versus Zack Sabre Jr. match.
Yeah.
And that's what you were saying, like all the twisting and the turning. And I'm pretty sure Panda's going to bring up the fact that Orange Cassidy has that silly punch move.
Yeah. Now, I gotta say with this one, Cassidy just started off at firing at all cylinders. Just ran at him right away and did all his attacks and everything. And this was probably the most serious Cassidy has been as a wrestler. The only thing he did that was kind of silly was just like when he was in a hold, he started doing like a little shimmy to kind of get out of the hold and everything.
I just couldn't explain it. I mean, he was like this, and it was sort of like.
Yeah.
And then there was another little twisty little submission thing going on too. See, I just called it the Kama Sutra match.
Oh god. But oh yeah, I'll get there. But yeah, like in other words, if it is like your first time seeing the Orange Cassidy match, besides him doing that little shimmy shake in the beginning, he was pretty serious for all of it. And in fact, there was a part where what's his name? Zack Sabre Jr. even imitated to kind of poke fun of him. The those little kicks that Cassidy does and stuff like that. But Cassidy himself didn't get to do them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they were.
Oh, that's right. Zack Sabre did do that little fake kick thing. It was like do. And then he went like this or something. Then what Zack was like, sure, yeah, no way. Did he kick him for real? Like that.
Yeah. So yeah, near the end they were doing all kinds of weird submission moves and like weird pins and weird all kinds of stuff. I remember one that was just so weird, the way Cassidy was like on top of him in some weird twisted position, and we were just joking. We're saying, I'm not sure that's how the 69 works. You know what I mean?
That's
we
right.
were all joking with that because it was just whatever. But in the end, Zack Sabre Jr. actually he grabbed Cassidy almost in like 3 submission moves in one, where he basically had all his limbs and everything tied and twisted and all the fucking everything, where Cassidy had to just I guess tap out, which I don't know how he tapped out. He was so tied up. It was literally like a pretzel thing.
Yeah.
It was like a variation of that octopus hold, but even more twisted than possible.
That's why I call it the Kama Sutra match.
No, God. But that was pretty insane. That was pretty insane.
They could have banged his head to tap out.
But that was a pretty good match, though. That was a pretty good match. That was probably one of Cassidy's best matches, to be honest.
It was weird.
But very technical, though.
It was just weird.
I know, but still, I still
it was something different. So
yeah, because that's something you would expect, I guess, from a more intense wrestling match. All the weird submission moves and turns and twists and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It was like college wrestling pumped up to 11. Near the end, near the second half.
Mm-hmm.
I guess you could say that Orange Cassidy was freshly squeezed.
So, goodbye. Yep. See yourself out.
Yeah.
Okay.
A pretzel in that match.
Yeah, I don't know what happened there. I think somebody spiked Orange Cassidy's orange juice with a Red Bull or something, because he was firing on all cylinders. He's doing full on strikes and everything. Okay, the orange punch, yeah, that did piss me off, but it wasn't. But considering how fast he was actually moving the entire match, I wasn't really that upset with it. I think slowly but surely, like I said a couple months back, he's trying to get out of that gimmick. I think he's finally just trying to work his way out of it, because he's been doing it since the indies. So I think he's finally trying to get out of it and, work as a full-speed, full-on wrestler. And, yeah, him and Zack Sabre actually had a decent match. Zack, kind of mimicked him, but if you really wanted to piss Zack off, all you would have had to do was just call him by his real name, and that would have done it, because anybody knows Zack's real name?
No.
It is Luke James Uggles Eatwell. Yeah.
I can see why he goes by the other name instead.
Yeah, when your middle name's Uggles and your last name is Eatwell, you sound like a really bad, American anime villain. So, yeah, that would have been enough to piss him off. But, yeah, as far as near the end, there were just way too many submission moves to count. There was, they went from like a figure four to a crossface to this move that I just called the P. Diddy. I have no idea what the hell that was.
Oh, dude.
It looked highly wrong and definitely illegal in the state of Miami. I mean, in the city of Miami.
I don't
You think
remember.
stay in Florida?
I don't remember any peeing involved.
Oh, that's R. Kelly.
That's
Oh,
R. Kelly.
oh, that's the R. Kelly maneuver. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they put him in another move that just looked so questionable. I call that one the Drake. But like in the end of it, somehow Orange Cassidy found a limb to tap out with because he just had him looking like a really, really light-skinned version of Dawson by the time it was over. Like he was just tied up in like all sort of knots. His foot was in his pocket. I have no idea how the hell it got there. It was just ridiculous.
I don't want to know what limb. Wait, I don't want to know what limb he used to tap out with.
Oh god.
Yeah.
So William, since all these moves are named after all these singers, whenever Orange Cassidy's just chilling with his hands in his pockets and then the shades on, do we call that the Snoop Dogg?
Oh my gosh.
Considering how annoyed people get with it, I'm gonna call it the BBL Drizzy, but we're not gonna go there.
But that's the thing though, at that point, Cassidy was so tangled up with that submission move, he couldn't drop it on the side.
Oh my gosh, you.
Dude, after being tied up like that, he definitely could get extra points in Twister. That's all I could say. But overall, it was still a good match. And Zack Saber's been known to make appearances past the hidden door, so I wouldn't be too surprised if a rematch comes soon on this one. But if this is what it takes for Orange Cassidy to finally go full throttle and just kind of like throw his gimmick to the fucking wind, I'm all for it.
I kind of think that with things like how the best friends broke up and how Chris is now also a heel, no longer his friend, all that stuff is kind of slowly moving him away from all of that to make his transition easier. If he does like drop the gimmick and just become a full-on wrestler.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's cool though, because in the Indies he was literally just a comedic wrestler, and it's interesting that he is turning into a more serious actual wrestler, much to the dismay of Mr. Cornet.
Yeah, like if at the beginning when it first started, when he was doing it back in the Indies, yeah, it was interesting because of how laid back he was. But you know, after seeing it from the Indies all the way to AEW for this many years, like it legit got old. It got old. Like it's time to give up that gimmick and try something new. And I mean, because potentially he is a really good wrestler. Don't get me wrong. Like he's probably one of the fastest guys I've seen when he goes at full speed. But that's the problem. He hardly ever goes at full speed. Like he's kind of like the I guess like the Final Fantasy Tonberry of AEW wrestling. Like he just walks around slow, but then he'll just bomb the hell out of you, you know, with one move. And it's like that's not how he is. He's pretty much he's one shy of being a luchador as fast as he does, and a lot of the flippy shit he can potentially do, but he just does not do it. It's almost like I know it's his gimmick, but legitimately his gimmick holds him back from his full potential. And I think that's what needs to be let go. But otherwise, I digress. It was still a good match. You know, despite him getting turned into a Stretch Armstrong and making, you know, Richard Reed from the Fantastic Four jealous. Otherwise, it was still a really good match.
Oh, yeah, Johnny, he didn't give his opinion yet.
Johnny, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to butt in on you, man.
Oh no, I had to, get my thoughts together. Okay, so for this match, I did notice that Orange Cassidy is fighting much more serious now. He's not doing all his gimmicky stuff that he usually does. However, that still doesn't really change my opinion too much on Orange Cassidy. I just find him kind of bland at this point. Like I'm not really like impressed by Orange Cassidy that much. So for me, even though like he's fighting a lot better, it's just kind of like I feel like I don't know, like he got serious a little too late. Like he should have done it a little bit earlier because now it's gotten to the point where it's kind of like, okay, so I guess now he's trying to get more serious, but it's like it's kind of hard to forget how long he's been doing all his city gimmick. You know, putting his hands in his pockets, doing the stupid little kicks that he always does. Zack Sabre Jr. I mean, I think personally, I think this match is more about Zack making Orange Cassidy look good in the match.
Because he had to push himself. That's a good observation there.
Yeah, which is why I said it'd be a good rematch because he's causing Orange Cassidy to not have any wiggle room, any room to slow down. He has to go, full throttle on everything that he does. And with that, it made a good match out of Cassidy. So yeah, Zack Sabre might have, been the one to push him, but he needs that kind of push because his regular wrestling just ain't cutting it. And I gotta agree with Johnny. Yeah, it's been past due for him to kick out of that gimmick, but now that it's happening, I'm still glad it's happening. I just want to see more of it.
Yeah, and the thing is that Orange Cassidy in this match, he definitely improved tremendously. Like he was still a challenge against Zack Sabre Jr. So, Zack really had to put Orange Cassidy in that weird submission at the end. Him looking like a pretzel. To me, it looks like a pretzel. That's the only way Zack Sabre, I think, legitimately could have won this match. Like he had to go that far in order to win this match against Orange Cassidy. So I do think that, I think this match is more about making Orange Cassidy look good because we already know what Zack Sabre is capable of. We already know how good of a wrestler he is. So it's more like to make Orange Cassidy look better in this match.
Sorry, I was holding up my Orange Cassidy action figure.
No, that's the what do you call it? Reenactment.
But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how things will go on from then. Like how hopefully Orange Cassidy will get upgraded. I don't know.
I have to agree with him as well because, in all honesty, I kind of got into AEW, of course, way later than you guys. I did watch like the very first pay-per-view, and I kept saying I was going to watch when he had started up with Dynamite and Rampage, and I really didn't. But even that time where when Orange Cassidy was the Continental whatever
Continental Breakfast.
Yes, the Continental Breakfast Champion or International, whatever it was, and he kept that belt for so long. I was getting sick of him then and his gimmick. So I can't imagine what people like, Panda just said, you watch him in the indies and he's still doing the same stuff. And I got bored of him after a year. So I just I was kind of glad he did do something a little different. Like I said, he became a Stretch Armstrong to do so, but it is something different. Okay.
Can I also add that if they do a rebranding on Orange Cassidy, can they please change his appearance, like his costume? Because I just find he just looks so generic. Like, okay, maybe in the beginning it was cool. He had his sunglasses and he had his jeans on all the time in the match. But after a while, it's kind of like a boring look. Like he's just wearing jeans and shades.
That's his gimmick. He's supposed to be like a lowly hitchhiker.
Well, time to stop hitchhiking. You need to settle down somewhere and get a new outfit.
Hence why every time he goes out the ring, he's got his thumb out and he's wearing the backpack and everything. He's supposed to technically be like a lowly hitchhiker. But, yeah, they definitely need to change that part of his gimmick, too. I mean, he's the only guy, he's the only guy I've ever seen with wrestling tights that have pockets, but still.
Yeah.
Okay. So the winner of that match was Zack Sabre Jr. and everybody went for Sabre except for Mark. Now, you're not very well this time, are you? So anyway, the next match is oh yes, the Learning Tree.
Hey everyone.
That doesn't work for me, brother. Anyway,
Oh God. We could do the match this way, but that doesn't work for me, brother.
the fact that he did that, Jericho actually did that. Anyway, the Learning Tree versus it was Samoa Joe, Hook, and Shibata.
Oh, one thing,
What?
but respect for Jericho.
Oh God, I hate to say it, it's lame, but every time Brad Keith does that, it gets a laugh out of me. It's just the fact he talked to what's his face from was a private party. His wife's about to have a baby, and he said, "Your kid better respect Chris Jericho when he's born." And so it's like, really, it's a face palm, but I'm laughing at the same time because of how it's like something's just so bad it's funny. Maybe. I don't know. But anyway, for this match, it is what it is. But the coolest thing about the match to me was the finish with Hook.
Yeah.
Because he used, what was it? Oh, yeah.
The Judas effect.
Yeah, he used the Judas effect on Jericho. And of course, that kind of built up to something a little later, but we'll get into that. But yeah, I did like that. Anyway, I did like that. I did like that. That was my favorite part of the match. The just that little part. And I also think there was a part with Samoa Joe. Oh, wait a minute. No, it must be another match I'm thinking of. Oh, no, I'm thinking of Dynamite. Never mind. Where Samoa Joe was on, someone about to land and try to slash him or whatever. He just moved out the way.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's just Samoa Joe. I like everything Joe does pretty much. So yeah, I'm mixing things up here. But yeah, that's the main thing I liked about the match. It is what it was. It was what it was. And I'm kind of glad that you had like Big Cass. I mean Bill and what's his face. And wait a minute, weren't they paired up with somebody else?
Don't read the thing there.
No,
So Big Bill was paired with Jericho, and you had.
I forgot.
Where are the other two? It was
Bill, Jericho,
Jeff Cobb and Brian Keith.
Oh yeah.
Jeff Cobb, yeah. Because Brian Keith had messed up, he messed up his arm and he had it in the sling. But of course, like the next week, all of a sudden, he is out of the sling. So
Senzu beans.
must be passing them around like steroids. But anyway, so yeah, that's it. Cobb, I forgot about Cobb. Yeah, the match was alright. But like I said, just the finish was my favorite part.
Yeah, I mean,
If I got knocked out by my own finishing move, that doesn't work for me, brother.
Yeah, I think he did say something like that. I think he said that.
again,
Oh God. The thing about Jericho is that honestly, like he shouldn't be wrestling anymore, but at least stay as like 'cause that gimmick could have worked if he was just their manager and adding all the extra cheese to it, but just don't go in the ring anymore. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I was saying what I was saying is a good thing that it was like a tag match, so he didn't have to be in the ring as much.
Yeah, 'cause I don't think we want to see Minoru Suzuki versus Jericho as a one-on-one match.
No. Minoru Suzuki, I mean, I'm sorry. The dude is like old now. I mean, he doesn't move. And then Jericho, he needs to leave too. I'm sorry. That's a geriatric match.
I mean, Murder Grandpa's okay, but he still works better on a team than one-on-one.
Mm-hmm.
And even if he was, because, like, for example, versus someone like Kingston is more mobile, it works. But him versus Jericho, like, an old guy trying to carry another old guy, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like, who's the better of the two? No, who would look?
No, Suzuki's better than two, obviously.
No, I was like, no, who's going to look worse? Who's going to look worse at the outcome of that match?
Unfortunately, Jericho.
Yeah.
Because at least Suzuki was never like a high flyer type thing, while Jericho's still trying to do line salts and crap.
And it takes a long time to do them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he really needs to stop. But yeah, like I said, finish is my favorite part of the match. Everything with Joe, Hook, and Shibata, I really liked. Jericho's team. I don't remember that much about him. That's about it.
I think Jeff Cobb should just be signed with AEW because they keep bringing him in every odd time as extra whatever. Just sign him already then. Jeff Cobb versus Powerhouse Hobbs, just meat slapping meat, you know?
Is Hobbs even still there?
Yeah, but you know.
Is he still there?
They'll use him when they'll use him, I guess.
Again, he's another guy on the back of the AEW milk carton.
Just like Lance Archer.
Yeah. I mean, it was an okay match. Finally, Hook gets a freaking win of all times. Like, he gets a freaking win finally, even though, like, Mr. Canadian Air Fryer on Rampage the next week, you know, does his usual, I'm a wizard, and just, like, throws flame in his face. But,
oh, that's right. Yeah. You missed that.
but still, like, you know, I'm finally glad that Hook finally got a win. And I think despite who he's feuding with, Jericho, despite that fact, I think this is what it's really going to take for them to give him a push. And he might actually get that push that will, you know, take Jericho out. I mean, at this point, Jericho's done everything except for be a manager, which he just needs to be because, again, Canadian Air Fryer. But he just needs to just settle down and go into a management role. Like, he's had all these factions and stuff that have, you know, fallen over, and then he starts with another faction and they've fallen over. His wrestling's not doing too good, but as far as being a manager and that type of character, he works pretty well. So I think he just needs to fall back into more of a manager role and just leave it at that. But otherwise, yeah, it was a decent match. Samoa Joe and Hook pretty much wrecked house. I think Shibata was the one that actually learned from Samoa Joe because I think somebody went up on the top rope and jumped. And Shibata just went nope and just walked away. Which
that's what.
Yeah, which I don't care who it is. Anytime Samoa Joe does that, it's hilarious. Like, It never gets old. But, yeah, because, like, Samoa Joe was looking at him like, yeah, now you're learning. But otherwise, it was still a fairly decent match, despite Jericho. That's all I got.
Yeah. Like I said, that shit is so corny, it's hilarious. Especially the whole, that doesn't work for me, brother. That's like, oh, dude. I don't know what Hogan thinks if he sees those skits. But the thing is, just keep him as a background manager guy, you know?
He sure be.
Oh, and again, when the match started, they were doing the whole please retire chants.
Yeah, so we were explaining to everyone here that people sipping Jericho need to go away. And we agree.
Oh, that plus, if you listen closely during the Young Bucks match, you constantly heard the crowd screaming CM Punk.
Oh. I'm not surprised. Alrighty.
Your thoughts, Johnny?
Okay, so I did remember, the only thing I really remember about the match was just the very beginning when people are telling Jericho that he needs to retire. And then Jericho still grabbed the mic and said, I'm not going to retire.
Oh my God.
And I'm thinking, dude, like, shut up. Like, I'm sorry, but you just make yourself look worse than what you already are. Like, just fight in the match, do what you need to do, but just shut up. Because he's giving me that, like, midlife crisis, you know, situation going on. He just looked like he's refusing to accept that, hey, like, time's up, buddy. Like, maybe he needs to retire. You know, he's giving me that Ric Flair vibe. You know, just retire, dude. Like, and you know, another thing is that because Jericho does so well being a heel, I think it would really work well for him to not only be in a management role, but also be heelish at the same time.
Yeah.
Kind of do like what the Young Bucks are doing, but better. You know, like actually succeeding into that. Because Young Bucks, the way they do everything, it's just silly and stupid. But like if Jericho did the heel thing, I think he could pull it off a lot better. And we'll give credit to that. Other than that, I'm just like really bored. Like I'm not invested into seeing Jericho fighting the match at all. It's just like I don't know, like it's like whatever at this point. I will have to say that it was very impressive. I was very proud of Hook that he actually won the match. And I think this match was kind of like similar to the Zack Sabre match that he made Orange Cassidy look good. I think the opponents, Chris Jericho and Big Bill, they made Hook look good in the match because we already know Samoa Joe can kick ass. And, Shibata's also a good wrestler, but with Hook, I think that this match really highlighted him a lot better. It really showed his full potential. And yeah, I just really wish they would promote Hook a lot better more often. Because I hear too many rumors that he even wants to leave AEW or the possibility of that happening. And it's kind of like a shame because I really do want like Hook to succeed, I want to get the push that he deserves.
Yeah,
That's all I match.
The bad thing about Jericho, to borrow from one of his oldest gimmicks from the WCW days, I think he's like I'm gonna I'll never ever retire. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, so on the Dynamite after this, as William started mentioning, Panda started mentioning, was okay, so Hook and Joe and Shibata had a match against somebody. I don't remember. But anyway, they had a match. So but Jericho came out first and he had a clipboard. I said, uh-oh, he's bringing out the list. He's bringing out the list. But anyway, he tells them that the EVPs gave him permission to do commentary for the upcoming match, and that Taz had to be escorted out of the building by security. He could not be there for the rest of the show. So of course the security escorted him out. Hook and them had their match, and then Ryan Keith with his miraculously fixed up arm and Big Cass, Bill, whatever, and Jericho, they all went and started beating up on Hook because that doesn't work for Jericho, brother. Like you said, you shouldn't use another person's move to grab your finish here like that. He broke the rule of wrestling. And then later on in the back, they're checking on him, like with the medical team or whatever. And then they just threw like flash paper in his face and Hook's face and
the fireball. Jericho's a wizard.
Yeah.
I'm a wizard.
Oh, so that's where that's going. So we'll see what happens later, but that's where that led up to. So Jericho got his revenge from his loss at Forbidden Door, being knocked out by the Juice.
But of course, that's gonna just escalate the feud further. So we'll see what happens there.
Yeah, but Tony Khan does do long-term planning and thinking.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. So anyway, for that match, as everybody went for Joe except for
me.
You went for the learning tree.
I guess it really didn't work for me.
No, it didn't. Get out.
Okay.
Now, the next match is a match where I didn't give a crap about it. I'm not going to pretend I cared because I had a feeling how it was going to go. Anyway, it was Takeshita versus Mark Briscoe versus Jack Perry versus Dante Martin versus Leo Rush versus the wild card that just popped up out of nowhere, El Phantasmo, in a ladder match for the TNT Championship. And the only one who actually gets a point for this is DJF because he's the only one that said Jack Perry. Everybody else had other guesses there. Yeah. This match, okay, it has a few interesting moments, but at the same time, these kind of matches still kind of annoy me a little bit because it's more like, oh my gosh, will you just go and just get the title? Get the title. Don't set up the ladder to jump off to get to someone where you can just grab that title and then climb the ladder, jump off and hit the guy. But I will say this. I think Takeshita did a pretty good job in this match with some of the spots that he
Yeah,
he
the
took.
crowd went over for Takeshita during this match.
Yeah, for some of the moves that he took and some of the moves that he actually did use and spots, some of his spots, I thought were actually pretty good. Everyone else I don't remember too much. Phantasmo, I kind of forgot was there. Leo Rush is so small you can't see him. I'm sorry, I had to go there. But the main thing that stood out to me was that spot where Takeshita was laying down, he had the ladder on him, and I was saying, like, okay, hold up. Well, first of all, okay, interesting spot. Second of all, you had like 10 minutes to move out of the way for once they could jump down on him. But anyway, then at the end though, you have that part where Jack Perry stepped on Mark Briscoe to climb up the ladder to get the title. So now the Elite and Perry and what's the name calls him? Oh, Cody. All of them have some championship.
That was the thing I was afraid of. I didn't want Jack Perry to win.
I did.
But I was afraid that they were going to go there because I still didn't vote for him. I didn't give a shit. I didn't want to vote for him. But I still had the bad feeling that, like, since he was the only member without a title, it's like, oh, they're going to give him the fucking title so that all of the Elite have titles.
See, I was hoping it wouldn't be that predictable. So that's why I went for Takeshita. As did Johnny and you, and then of course Panda went for Mark Briscoe, and Jack went for Phantasmo, and DJF went for Perry.
I bet you the DJF didn't want him to win either, but he just kind of voted for who he thought was most likely to win.
Yeah.
I just find it kind of annoying because the Elite were going to just hand him over the title before Christopher Daniels came in and said, whoa, hey, whoa, we got to do this whole thing and he has to earn it. So in the end, fucking Jack Perry did earn it. And, fuck Jack Perry. Fuck the scapegoat, whatever.
Yep.
Your thoughts, William?
My thought is this. You have Takeshita. You have Dante. You've got Rush. You got Briscoe. And the TNT Walmart title, because let's face it, it's a shitty TV title. Like, it's a shit TV title that could have been done on a house show, and you give it to Jack Perry. Yeah, I know he just came back. I get it. That's all fine. That's all gravy. But like, you shouldn't have gave it to him in that format with those kind of wrestlers, especially when you got Briscoe and Takeshita there. I would have sooner they gave it to Dante because, like, he's a high flyer. Sure, he's an upstart, but hell, he's got a lot more promise and a lot more charisma than Jack Perry. I mean, come on. It's freaking ridiculous. Like, maybe if he would have won it on Rampage the next day, that would have been fine, but I digress. It was a match. It is what it is. Takeshita did have some pretty good moves. He took some pretty nasty bumps. I got to give it to Takeshita. Like, for him not wanting to be there, he still gives it his all, and he takes some punishment. But overall, it was just a match. Like, it was a needless match. And I agree with Wendy. At this point, they knew they were going to give it to him. It's pretty much a gimme. They should have just let him just climb up the ladder, grab the belt, and call it a day. Instead of just having everybody climb up the ladder, jump off the ladder, pull down the ladder, throw it on somebody, then try to put it back up, then flip over somebody, knock them off the ladder, and then try to get the belt. Like, it was a waste of time for a wasted belt.
Jeez. Stupid Perry. He jumped off a ladder into a lake.
Your thoughts, Johnny?
Okay, so this match, I kind of like the match. I think it started out decent. It started out good. Typical leather match. People try to climb up. The ladder falls down. They try to get back up. They fall on the table. They get injured, blah, blah, blah. But, it just sucks that Jack Perry won this match. Like, whatever. Like, I don't care. Like, I would have preferred Dante Martin to win this match over Jack Perry.
I would
That's how
take anyone over Perry.
any one of these wrestlers. I mean, all the wrestlers are way more talented than Jack Perry is. But we already know where's Tony Khan's priorities at. They prefer to give the title to somebody like Jack Perry. You know, they prefer to bring him back to AEW while the other wrestler, CM Punk's and well, we already know the whole situation, but yeah, we already know where Tony Khan's priorities at. So it's just it is what it is. It's just like whatever.
Yeah, I was looking at the whole match. And I'm like, where the fuck is Luchasaurus when you need him? Ugh.
Well, I will say this about what you said about Takeshita. So, like, that's the difference between Takeshita and Okada. Okada doesn't care. Takeshita doesn't care, but at least Takeshita is trying.
Yeah.
So you got to give him credit for that. So as mentioned, Perry won the match. DJF was the only one who got a point there. And the next match is, Mercedes Mone, the CEO, versus what? Vaquer. Is that Vaquer? I can never say her name.
Yeah, Vaquer.
Vaquer. I don't know. Still think I do a good pronunciation of that. Now this match. Oh my gosh, I love Vaquer.
What's the other name, last name, whatever?
That's her last name. Stephanie?
Yeah.
Stephanie Vaquer.
Yeah, okay. I loved Stephanie for this whole match. Her moves, the way she did them, the way she executed them, they were great. Loved it. I didn't give a crap about Mercedes, but in a way, she was great. And the thing that I found interesting was that every time Stephanie did a move on Mercedes, everybody would be cheering for her.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but every time Mercedes did something big on her, she would get booed. Nobody likes Mercedes Moné right now. I mean, I don't know what she could do to get get the fans to actually really like her, but we'll see. And I think it's her arrogance that's the problem too. That she just think that, hey, my name is Mercedes Moné, so you have to automatically worship me.
I think it's still because she beat Willow.
And
if she beat someone else that wasn't Willow, maybe you would have liked her more. But I think everyone's still having the bad taste in their mouth.
Yeah, I think so because it was her first real match and she gets the title right off the bat without earning it or anything. And the fact that even that feud was forced because she hurt herself. Willow didn't hurt her. I mean, that's the thing that's kind of annoying to me.
And then right now, since this was a title versus title match where whoever wins is going to walk away with both titles, so Mercedes is also the New Japan Strong Style champion.
Strong Woman champion and she's the TBS.
Everyone fucking booed when she won it. Like, it was fun. And when they did the close-ups, the people directly behind her on camera were all like, boo, and all that kind of shit.
Yeah, and then that's probably why they pushed the surprise. The doctor is back.
Yeah, see, this is the part that Johnny was watching the pay-per-view, and he's like, "Oh, I had enough of this shit," and just gets in his phone and called his good buddy DMD to make an appearance.
Yeah, he ordered her to come right out, and everyone started cheering for her, and then Mercedes like, "Hey, what about me?" I was like, "Whoa, Britt's finally back!" So she's been injured all this time, and sort of like people say, "Wonder where she's been." I was just saying, well, I just assumed she was stuck at home taking care of Adam Cole. That was my theory. But Britt Baker showed up and everyone's cheered and she didn't have to say nothing, do nothing. She just stood there and she walked back out, taking Mercedes' limelight away. So Stephanie got some limelight there, got the limelight off of Mercedes. Britt Baker didn't do anything. He got the limelight off of Mercedes, and then Mercedes just got booed because nobody gives a crap about her. And I'm one of them. But to be fair, I'm one of the people that didn't even care for her as Sasha Banks. So I might be a little biased here.
Yeah. So then on Dynamite, Britt Baker came out to talk her stuff about how she's coming back and all the stuff she had to go through to come back. Mercedes came up, they started talking trash, but the part, and I don't know why people, and I think William included, didn't like the mic work or whatever, but I liked it for the most part. Like when you said they're not perfect, but I like the stuff that was said. And like I said, the part I liked the most was that where,
Like,
and it is true though, unfortunately, no one really does cheer for Mercedes Mone. They just chant because the theme song is CEO. So some people either chant or the theme song itself has like built-in chants.
yeah, the piped-in CEO.
Yeah.
chants.
So Britt actually said like the only reason they're chanting CEO is because it's part of your theme song.
Yeah.
And I don't need no music here to show that the only three letters that mean anything in AEW are, and the whole crowd was like DMD. I could tell if Johnny was watching, because I don't think he gets a channel. If he was watching, he'd be saying that too.
Yeah, so that was kind of cool, the whole Dynamite thing. So now they're building up a feud between Mercedes and Britt Baker. So there's that. But yeah, I thought the match was good on Stephanie's part, and Mercedes didn't really. No, she was all right. I just like I was just so focused on the stuff Stephanie was doing because I was just amazed by it. So that's me. Because I'd never seen her wrestle, so that too.
And she's a cutie.
Okay, so yeah, given this was going to be a gimme match because it's Mone. I mean, at this point, with the way her contract is set up, she's pretty much like the Charlotte Flair or Becky Lynch of AEW at this point. So, like, she can pop back in wherever she wants, and it's like, oh, hey, look, a title just mysteriously dropped in my hand. Where did that come from?
It might be my own personal bias, but I still find her more likable than Charlotte and Becky, especially Charlotte.
Oh, yeah. I still like her more than Becky or Charlotte, but still. Stephanie pretty much carried her the entire match. As far as the moves and everything, as far as the pacing and everything, I feel like Stephanie carried her for the vast majority of the match. I mean, Stephanie's a pretty good wrestler to her credit because I used to watch her in the CMLL tournaments in Mexico. Like, she's a really damn good wrestler. So, but you kind of got to see, like, read in between the lines there. It doesn't matter how good she was. Like, Mone was going to win that match.
Oh, yeah.
And Britt Baker showing up, I never thought I would be happy to see Britt Baker in my whole life. But when she showed up, I'm like, yeah, get in there. Get in the freaking ring. Get in the ring now. Not now, but right now. Go. But no, we're going to have to wait on that. I mean, we're definitely going to have to wait on that. But otherwise, like, it was a pretty good carry. I mean, good match. You know, Stephanie, I wish her all the best of luck. I hope, like, they do a Forbidden Door again. I hope she comes back. But, yeah, like, Mone is going to be a problem. She's going to be a real life diva as far as the AEW locker room and stuff in the back goes. So, yeah, we knew how that was going to go down. Like, you didn't even have to watch the match to know.
All right, guys. So this match, Mercedes Mone versus Stephanie Vaquer, I have to say in this match, Stephanie Vaquer is the superior wrestler. She's way more agile, more technical, more flexible. She looks more serious because I feel like Mercedes Mone is trying too hard. Like, she's trying to be, I don't know, too much. Like, she's too flashy. She's too gimmicky. And to me, she gives me a little bit of a John Cena thing going on. Like, you know how, like, John Cena, like, he always wins all these matches all the time in WWE. And he always does his thing. Like, that's what I feel like Mone is always going to be in the ring. She's always going to do her thing. You know, they're always going to do the CEO chants. And to me, I feel like that's more like her gimmick. It's more about that than actually being a good, legitimate wrestler, in my opinion. Like, I don't really find her that appealing wrestling-wise. It looks pretty scripted. Like, when she wins the match, it's like in the contract, like, okay, you got to win this match. Okay, you got to win this match. Like, I don't know. I just don't get a really good vibe on Miss CEO. And I think the reason also is because I think she's just she acts too cocky. She just barely got back into business with AEW, after being out of the scene with WWE for a while. And she's already demanding, diva treatment. Like she has to win all these titles. And it's like you just barely came back from the scene. Like calm down. That's the vibe I'm getting from Mercedes Mone. And she's not that great of a wrestler. I'm sorry.
No one likes to finish either.
Preferred 1,000% that Stephanie would have won this match. Because she really is a good wrestler. Like, this is the first time I've seen Stephanie Vaquer, but I can see, okay, this is why she's a good wrestler in the Lucha Libre. Like, I can see it happening.
One thing I do want to say also, and it kind of goes with what Jack says sometimes. Well, first of all, I don't know. This really should have been a title versus title match. But they should have had Stephanie win. So they should have Stephanie win and then have Mercedes move on to feud with Saraya for the obvious reasons. But have Stephanie win so that she can show off the title at the CMLL and other places, like Jack would say, to kind of, advertise AEW more, show it around, have the title,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I gotta say the way Stephanie fights, I'm actually gonna, I don't know, I might have to go to YouTube and watch how she fights in her CMLL matches, because she's very impressive and she's the real deal. And Mercedes Mone, she's just there for the check.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, just there to get the paycheck.
And see, AEW is too scared to have someone else from another company have their belt and then be somewhere else. That's why they wouldn't. Now, if she had the CMLL title, on the other hand, and she lost it to Mone, Mone could go to CMLL and flaunt it all she wants. She can go to New Japan and flaunt it all she wants, because they already have a relationship with New Japan, and Mone is formerly from New Japan because that's where she went when she took that time off from WWE until she got injured. But AEW themselves, they're too scared to have someone lose a title and then have it go somewhere else. I would gladly love to see Stephanie flaunting the AEW women's title in CMLL or New Japan. I would gladly love to see it. But as of right now, with Mone being the new hot thing in AEW, it was kind of a gimme. It's the same as the return of MJF. She's not going to lose that title, at least not right now.
Now, in my opinion, I feel like Stephanie would fit in a lot better with Ring of Honor. Because I feel like Ring of Honor would actually give her the airtime and the space she deserves to be in compared to AEW.
The downside about the Ring of Honor thing is, like, there's all that potential with Ring of Honor, but it doesn't have, it's not put in a way so that you can give a more broader audience for it.
Yeah. Because that's the thing. Like, AEW got people walking around with the New Japan titles for a while. I forgot who, but they had, like, I think it's the Young Bucks, right? They had, like, the Lucha Libre, the AAA tag team titles. And we've seen stuff like that, but we rarely see it the other way around, where they're, showing off the AEW titles and the other promotions. And even for Ring of Honor themselves, like, MJF never once defended the Ring of Honor tag team titles on the Ring of Honor program.
Oh, that's right.
Or even the pay-per-views, I don't think. I don't know. It's like...
No, just in AEW. Just the regular AEW shows, yeah.
Meanwhile, you had guys like Kenny Omega, who at the time had the AEW title, New Japan Pro title, CMLL title, and he had the Ring of Honor title. That's how you actually end up getting the nickname the Belt Collector.
Then you also have the TNA one?
I'm not sure if he had the TNA title. But I know he had all those titles, and he actually defended the CMLL title. Mind you, he lost it, though. but he did defend the title in CMLL, which is why I'm saying a AEW star, it's kind of lopsided because they can get all the belts from any other division, but yet if any other division wants one of their belts, they have a problem.
Oh, well.
But yeah, the final note I would also like to add is that I actually can't wait to see D versus CEO. I want to see Britt Baker beat the shit out of him.
There you go, John.
I want to see Britt Baker, Britt Baker pull her teeth out.
And then take it to the dentist. She gonna take her out to the dentist.
Yup. Pull her out while she's at it.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
Damn, I changed your name to Johnny Savage, bro.
All right.
So I'm sorry, but is that Mercedes Moné? I mean, maybe back then, with the with the in the Divas era, that gimmick would have worked well. But nowadays, it just looks so, I don't know, it just looks too out of place.
Are you stop a little stripper dance?
That's the thing I don't like. Also, that it's like every time I see that, I still see Sasha Banks. I'm sorry, I still see Sasha Banks, and it's obviously the whole trademark situation. They cannot keep the name, so they have to call her Mercedes Moné. They have to try to change it to to the whole CEO gimmick. But every time I see her do that, to me, it's still like, okay, Sasha Banks.
Hey, a certain somebody refers to that as the stripper dance. A certain person from the industry refers to it as a stripper dance. But anyway, for that one, as you all heard, Johnny is fired up for DMD to beat the CEO. And we're all looking forward to that, I'm sure. I know I will be. So anyway.
Turn though. Time she's back.
And so for that one, like I said, everyone knew it. Mercedes was going to win, but Jack was a contrarian, and he went for Stephanie Vaquer. So now it's time for the last couple of matches on the card. We have Naito versus Moxley. For the IWGP title, a title that Moxley should have never had in the first place. And Naito did win this match. He got the title off of Moxley, and hopefully it goes to where it belongs, away from anyone in AEW. Just saying. It does not belong there, in my opinion.
So I want to say it was a decent match. It was a very technical type match. Kind of, between technical and, strong style, all the things. But yeah. Mr. Moxley surprisingly did not lose a drop of blood during this match. And also surprisingly, given his status where he always beats the Japanese guys, like when he said Naito did win the match and he did reclaim the title, because I believe Moxley got it awesome to begin with. So he did reclaim the title. So that's fucking awesome. So it was a pretty good match. But like I said, the biggest surprise was that Moxley didn't bleed at all.
Yeah. Also, too, with this match, in my opinion, it was just my observation. I thought the match started off a little slow. Mm-hmm. And then it kind of picked up a little. And actually, Moxley wasn't that bad, in all honesty. I mean, all my joking, my joking aside with him, he actually seemed to try in this match. But I don't know. I still think the match could have been better. But I don't know. I just think their styles just clashed a bit. And it didn't work for me, brother.
It didn't work for me, brother.
Oh, wait. I think I need to see myself out now for that one. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I know. I got to go for that. I'm sorry.
No, not you. Him.
Okay, yeah, get out. No, but I encouraged it, so I need to go too. I inadvertently encouraged that. But yeah. I think we should let Johnny go first, and then we'll let William go since he had the biggest rant. Get the muffins ready.
Okay, so I got to say right off the bat, one thing I do notice about the Forbidden Door pay-per-view in particular is that let's face the facts that, you know, some of the AEW wrestlers are very gimmicky. They're not very, you know, good. So obviously when you have superior like Japanese wrestlers that know what they're doing, you know, it's very obvious that you can tell that the AEW wrestlers are like, oh shit, I gotta make myself look good. I gotta force it up a little bit more. And that's the vibe I'm also getting with some of these matches, just in general. And yeah, even the good AEW wrestlers, they still got to step it up a little bit more because the Japanese wrestlers, they're like a whole other ballpark. You know, they're to a whole other level. Very impressive stuff. For this match, I wasn't too invested because it's Jon Moxley. Like, I don't care about Jon Moxley, but you know, I just like the fact that Naito won this match.
Oh yeah, you know, something I also noticed is that Jon Moxley came out to some other theme that wasn't like.
It wasn't Wild Thing. It was something else. Forgot about that.
I think is that like his theme from New Japan or something? I heard it was some theme that did belong to him, but just that it wasn't Wild Thing, and it wasn't his original AEW theme either.
Okay. I don't know.
You know anything about that, Panda? Or are you prepping yourself for the rant?
No, I really don't know anything about that, but that was kind of weird that he did not come out the Wild Thing. I know he does it in respect for I forgot the name of the Japanese wrestler. He was like one of the first wrestlers to go into the explosive barbed wire death match. That's why he changed his background music to that, out of respect for him. But I don't remember what his other theme music was. I can't remember it.
Oh, Mark, do you remember what happened after Naito beat Moxley? Regarding, you know, with all of us watching? Do you remember what I was doing?
Oh yeah, you were dancing, you were happy, you were jumping up and down and everything. People were just looking at you like, what the fuck? Like, what is Wendy up to?
And I was like,
or what is Wendy on?
Okay, that works.
Yeah. And we of course explained the delightful story where Wendy got to tell Moxley, "You suck," in person during one of the wrestling matches.
Okay. Here we go, Panda. Get the right out. Get the right out. Night was waiting. Is channeling you right now.
Okay, so here is my thing, and it's a rant against Moxley, but it's also a rant for Moxley in this match. So in this match, he performed very decently. A lot of good technical moves, a lot of skilled moves, a lot of decent wrestling moves. My question is, why in the blue hell did he not fight like this before? Why was he not doing this before? Why is it, you know, every match we got to watch him, oh, a piece of toilet tissue paper fell out his face. Now he's bleeding everywhere like a stuck pig. It's like, wait a minute. So you went from like the indies and backyard wrestling to WWE. You honed your craft just to be this brawler that, to prove that you're tough, you have to bleed everywhere like a stuck pig? Why? Like, there's no need to give anybody hepatitis. I mean, you've got Suzuki, the freaking grandpa killer, running around, and yeah, sure, he's got his hair like all mangled up and stuff, but you don't see him bleeding everywhere, but you see him and you know, yo, this is a tough guy. This is somebody you don't want to mess with. If he could take that type of mentality and put it towards the wrestling that he had when he was fighting Naito, he would be worth a damn. I would actually like Moxley. And you know the cool part about, the decent part about that guy I give him credit for on this one? He went through the entire match, highly technical, highly skilled, really hard-hitting match, and he didn't bleed. He didn't bleed, not one time. I didn't see an ounce of red except for on Naito's shorts.
The only red I saw was like any chops that went towards his chest.
Yeah. But, like you said, I'm glad the IWGP title is back in Japan and it's going to go back to the regular tournaments. The only person that I could even see trying to go back up against it again, because I have to eat my words, he's been getting better, is Eddie Kingston after he heals from his broken leg. I'd like to see him return in the tournament and see what he could do because, despite what I said about him before, he, unlike Moxley, has actually been getting better. Moxley got better in this match, but how long can he freaking keep it up? Like, can he keep up and have a good, solid match and not have it be some, oh, I'm not going to be a technical guy. We're going to have to bleed together. More ketchup packets. Yeah, if he can just get out of that mentality and actually be a wrestler instead of trying to be a self-inflicted wannabe New Jack, we'll be all right. This was actually a good, solid match. I actually liked this match, which for me saying that with John Moxley in the same sentence is strange to me.
Yeah.
But Naito was in it, so benefit of the doubt. But overall, it was a good, decent match. He needs to do more of this, and people will have put their faith in Moxley. Either way, I'm glad the IWGP title is home. I can't wait till the Grand Prix starts again. I want to see who's going to be in it. If Moxley keeps his shit together, okay, fine, cool, but I'd rather it be Kingston to represent the U.S. That's just my opinion. Johnny, what do you got, man?
Oh, he went. He already did his view. All right, so for this match, everybody gets a point except for DJF, who went for Moxley because he figured that he was going to keep it. And I agree. Like I said, I mean, even like I said, even at the time we were watching, I said that match wasn't that bad. I hate to say it, but it wasn't that bad. Okay.
I mean, I was just surprised that Naito won because, again, they always paint Moxley as this guy that every time he goes against these, special cameo guest stars from Japan, he always wins, always, or whatever.
But
I'm surprised Naito won.
Yeah, well, we'll see. So anyway, now we're at our main event of the night. Will Ospreay versus Swerve, and all I have to say, this match was crazy. There was just so much going on, and then like how Ospreay pull off his moves, and it's like he can like back flip, side flip, front flip, whatever out of submission moves. It was just so. And it's work. I mean, they kept that energy up. I mean, I just thought it was a really good match. I mean, I was really invested in this match. And in my opinion, this was probably the most captivating match on the card for me.
Yeah, feel pain, Rocky.
Oh yeah, that's
pain. I like in the beginning when what's his name? Ospreay was trying to do stuff and nothing was really phasing Swerve just yet.
Yeah.
And he's all like, your buddy's all like, no burn that, Rocky. That's all you got? That's all you got, Rocky? I'm going to make you feel pain. And it's so funny because every time that Ospreay was in a bad position or all banged up and struggling to get up, that kind of stuff. Oh, I told you to make you feel pain. You feel pain, Rocky. Just like every time he did that, I was always like just bust out laughing. I couldn't help myself, and that just made the match 10 times more fun.
Yeah, I have to agree with that one. But
It's just a tradition because since AEW's matches are not that common, not that what's the word? They're not like that common. I guess that's all I can say. So. I mean, they're sort of, but not too much. But some of those, we gotta like maybe all in. Let's invite the people again, or at least let them know they're asking they're available, whatever. Because
we need something to laugh at.
It makes it fun. But yeah,
yeah, the match, like I said, it was a pretty good match. Good moves from both sides there. The ending of the match was Swerve using the
Swerve stomp.
No, he didn't do the Swerve stomp.
No. Oh, he did the what's that thing called?
The other one, the kick thing he does.
Yeah, I remember what it's called.
Well, he did it. He did it, but Will kicked out of that, and he tried to get back up, and then he ended up doing it again and getting the pin on Ospreay. And I'm kind of glad that Ospreay lost because one, he already has a title, and you know, let's
won the title. I don't want to lose it that quickly either.
that too. That was the other thing I was saying. It wouldn't have made sense for Swerve to lose it. Swerve should keep it until Wembley, and then we find out who he's going to go against at Wembley. And now with Adam Page being back, they're probably trying to set him up to go against Swerve at All In.
Yeah. But that was the thing. When I first heard like the way the brackets were moving or whatever, that's like it's gonna be Ospreay versus Swerve, I was afraid of that. I'm like, oh no, like he just won the title. No, because Ospreay.
Remember Ospreay wasn't in the Owen Hart tournament.
No, it was something else that led up to like him going up against Swerve.
Oh well, yeah.
Some kind of match or ladder match or some kind of match that determined that Ospreay was gonna challenge Swerve. And when it was announced that was going to happen, I was already thinking, oh man, no, because I was thinking that Ospreay, being a big enough name, he would be the one to win. And I'm like, but Swerve just won the title, so I'm glad that he retained though.
Yeah, same here. But at the same time, I heard that thing about Ospreay, non-kayfabe, where he doesn't like the travel arrangement, having to keep traveling back and forth. Yeah. So if he doesn't have that world title and he doesn't have to constantly defend it, then he can spend more time at home and not doing all the extra travel.
Now I want to be sure. Isn't it called the house call? That move, that side kick to the face or whatever?
Yeah, I think that's what it's called.
That's the house call, because he ended up doing it twice, and the second time got Ospreay, I think.
Oh God, this person here, and I thought I was silly, but this person here made me both between me and her get up and do the dance for the intro, while everyone else be like looking at us like, what these two fools doing?
Hey, they should know what they're getting into with me. So I'm very goofy. So
God, we did both things, didn't we? We did the scissoring when their match was up, and we did the dance when they came up. So oh my God, we were.
I was like, yeah. So if you hang around with me, you will be embarrassed in the privacy of the home. I have my limitations. I'm not gonna take it outside.
Oh, that's
me. Be here.
I'm the one that embarrasses people when we're outside.
Hey, I have enough room. Anyway, what did you guys think of this match?
All right, this was a very insanely high intensity match. From the beginning to the end, it was just batshit crazy. Between Swerve's counters and Ospreay's like acrobatic ability and countering, it was almost like looking at a Street Fighter match at Evo. Like it was ridiculous. I'm slowly starting to see more of a face turn for Ospreay because I remember Don Callis handed in Screwdriver, and originally he was gonna attack Swerve with it, and then he was about to hit Prince Nana, and he was like, nah. He just put the screwdriver down. So I'm thinking he's really starting to get sick and tired of Callis, which I think that's going to put him more in a face position, at least until, and this is a big if, Kenny returns. Maybe they'll have a feud or something. But it was a insanely good match. I think they are going to hold it on to Swerve until the whole until All In when he goes up against Adam Page, which, even then, if they still want to keep him boosted, I'd still say keep it on him. I'd still say, let him hold on to it just a little bit longer. But yeah, I think that's what their plans are. But this was a definite banger of a match. Mm-hmm. Swerve and Ospreay styles are like kind of different, but kind of the same at the same time. Like Swerve's got a bit more of a strong style to him as opposed to Ospreay's acrobatics. but somehow it worked very, very well, and I was surprised. So yeah, really good match. I pray to see a rematch or something, but now they actually have mutual respect for each other. So who knows what may happen? They might end up being a tag team, which that'd be a pretty badass tag
Ooh,
team.
that
to
would
be
be
honest with you.
that would be great. And then they can take out the elite. But and
Yes.
and on to something that Panda just said. What just said? Okay, so on Dynamite, Don Callis was with Ospreay, and Ospreay actually told Callis that he wants out. He doesn't want to be in the Don Callis family anymore.
Yeah.
So Don was like, gave him a hug and said, how was it like, you do what you got to do, that kind of thing. And he gonna let him go. But we all know there's going to be some kind
Oh,
of.
it's kind of like I'll let you go, but you'll owe me a favor.
He did say that, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, but you're telling me, oh, there's a catch.
You know what? Actually, I take back the whole Swerve and Ospreay tag team, because there's one guy who's currently a free agent, who's currently out of his contract, that if he were to go over there and they were to tag team, if you've ever seen their New Japan matches, it would be insane. Could you imagine Will Ospreay tag teaming with Ricochet?
Oh, yeah, he is the reason.
Because they fought like 3 times, but they've never tagged together.
Man. I think of Ricochet. I just see him just all the flippy stuff. That bigger Ricochet.
It's like Ricochet. How much flippy shit are you gonna do in this match? His answer is yes.
Yeah. How much flippy shit do I have to do? Yes.
Johnny, your thoughts?
Wow, this match is spectacular in so many ways, and it's definitely the best match of the entire pay-per-view. I mean, it's very like high intensity. Both wrestlers are very good at what they do, but they're both kind of like different, but they're kind of similar in the sense that they're both technical. But it's a kind of match that's kind of even harder to choose a side, because I like Swerve and I like Will Ospreay. Like, I like both wrestlers, so it's kind of hard to, like, damn, should Swerve win this one, or damn, should Will Ospreay win this one? It's kind of a hard choice to make. Both wrestlers are pretty awesome, in their own respect, and it was just like a very good long match, and it was very intense, and it was like unpredictable in certain ways, because you can't really tell for a fact if Swerve's going to win this match or is Ospreay going to win this match. So in the end, I was actually, I don't know, like,
How many close calls?
it was, either one of them could have won this match, so it was hard to kind of predict in certain instances. But in the end, Swerve did win the match. And I actually felt bad for Ospreay, because at the end, it was like a very emotional thing. I mean, he was like, he couldn't believe he lost the match. I mean, he fought so hard to get to the place he's at, currently, like wrestling-wise, that it was a tough defeat for him. I think it was hard for him to kind of like accept the reality that he lost versus Swerve.
All 3 of them.
And yeah, it was sad, because Will Ospreay actually looked, like really sad. Like, I think he was even like holding back his tears, But it was a emotional ending.
Yeah, and Fletcher showed up to kind of give some support.
Yeah. So that's what made it. It's like good sportsmanship in the end. But yeah, it was a very good match. Way better than some of the other matches this pay-per-view had.
Yep.
Yeah. So overall,
And that's my complaint I do have with all these pay-per-views, that there's always a few crappy matches that you're thinking, damn, if you could just eliminate those shitty matches, it would be much better, you know? Like AEW would be seen in a much better light if you didn't have stupid, you know, Young Bucks and people like that running the show.
Exactly.
Mm. So overall, pay-per-view, I did enjoy it a lot, but I do have to say a lot of it came from all the guests and the food and all the stuff. But I mean, Naito won, which is cool because I know that Jack would have probably torn the world asunder if Moxley defeated him. Swerve got
would've
the
joined him.
title. Yep. Tony Storm retained your title. I mean, I guess, but you know, the good guys can't win all the time. Fucking Jack Perry, whatever. The MJF match was basically just a match to have him there because I guess he came back. He had to beat her somewhere, but it was pretty inconsequential match. In my opinion, what should have happened is that MJF should have, like, I guess he won, but have like whoever his next feud is come in and jump him or talk shit or something to kind of, you know.
Now with that, it seems like they're trying to really set up MJF with Will Ospreay.
Yeah. And that was another thing too in the latest episode of Dynamite. It was Daniel Garcia versus it was Ospreay, right? Daniel Garcia versus Ospreay.
Yeah,
And MJF.
prior to that, MJF was trying to pretty much sell, you know, try to get Daniel Garcia over. He's like, he's in his corner, he's rooting for him, and I don't remember the whole setup to that for a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But he had something against Ospreay, and then at the end of Daniel Garcia's match, he actually lost to Daniel Garcia lost to Ospreay. He's upset. He was trying to get Daniel Garcia to cheat, use the ring, which he didn't, and that gave Ospreay the chance to grab Daniel Garcia and pin him. Now MJF goes up to Daniel Garcia, and you know you think he's trying to console him, or like, you know, because Daddy Magic won't there. I don't know why, but at the time, and then he just started wailing on Daniel Garcia, beating the crap out of him. Then Daddy Magic show up, he knocks him down, he goes and beat him up, and
then Ospreay shows up to
no. Remember, and this is the problem here. All of the security, the refs, everyone coming in there trying to help out Daniel Garcia, and I guess Daddy Magic on the bleeding on the ramp somewhere. But anyway, now let me get this straight. And he even got Daniel Garcia on the top rope, and what was it, like kind of a suplex,
like a superplex or something.
Yeah.
I remember Daniels was there trying to stop MJF, but he didn't listen to him or whatever.
Yeah, and MJF started fighting off security guards too. The guards and everything too. And of course, you know, they had to get the medics in there. They put the neck brace on Daniel Garcia, then putting him on the stretcher. And let me get this straight. Tony Khan had that Melter driver used on him. Nobody came out except for the wrestlers saying, "Oh my God, he saved my chips." And then, you know, then he walked about. Then the next day he wearing a neck brace, or like one of those little pillow things you use on the airplane.
Jesus.
Little neck pillows.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's where I think that's what we're doing with MJF, and then Ospreay did like Mark was saying, came back out to try to help her, whatever.
I wonder, because, you know, with the, what do you call it, All In coming soon, definitely they already did announce, or they you know, it is going to be DMD versus CEO at All In.
Yeah.
But I wonder if it was going to lead up to MJF versus Ospreay at All In. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
You know what would have been funny with that whole Meltzer driver incident? If like right after the Meltzer driver happened, like one of the wrestlers would have came out and just yelled, like Balrog just came out and just went, "My fight money!" That would have been hilarious.
Oh my gosh. All right, so yeah, that's what's going on with MJF and Ospreay. So they're going to set that up, and Dan Garcia, like I said, take it on the stretcher, put the little backboard on him, put him on the stretcher to take him out.
So, any final thoughts on the pay-per-view, guys, before we go into who won?
I don't know, like, all in all, it was a pretty decent pay-per-view. There were a couple of matches here and there that I felt could have been switched. Like, I still think the Willow Nightingale match should have been put in the card rather than before
Yeah.
the card because that was an excellent match. But at the same time, you know, you got to have a decent match to get people to watch. So I understand that. But again, a lot of surprises. There were actually like a lot of surprises. I didn't expect Britt Baker to come back. You know, didn't expect LIJ to lose. And hell, I didn't expect John Moxley to actually wrestle in a wrestling match. Huh. Surprise. So yeah, this was a fairly decent pay-per-view. But again, you know, you saw the writing on the wall. None of the actual like major New Japan wrestlers actually won anything. So yeah, there you go.
One thing I was thinking too is that I was kind of bracing myself, like, because the thing is, our guests weren't really like big wrestling fans per se. I mean, they remember like the old, you know, the old days and stuff, and they know who like at least who Jericho is and who Billy Gunn is and stuff like that and whatever, you know. So I was kind of like bracing myself in case the Moxley match got too bloody, because I don't know what they would have thought if it became a big bloodbath and they're like, Wendy, the fuck you watching? You know, that kind of stuff. So, I mean, it was a nice surprise that Moxley didn't literally paint the town red like he usually does. Johnny, your thoughts?
Okay, so I actually thought the pay-per-view was pretty decent. I mean, of course, some of the matches are stupid. We already know. You guys already know my opinion towards the Young Bucks and CEO. But other than that, I did enjoy the pay-per-view considering the fact that me personally, I wasn't really too invested into it. Like I wasn't, because again, in my point of view, I feel like the storyline just feels like kind of like they just did everything pretty much like in the last minute. Like even, you know, the storyline of, I don't know, Tony Storm of her love triangle. I'm like, damn, I didn't know like when did this was a theme, you know, like it's everything just feels so like Tony Khan's like, okay, we got to do the pay-per-view. Okay, let's just do this storyline, that storyline. Oh, this is a good idea. Let's do this like all in the last minute, like in the last week before the pay-per-view comes out. That's the way I feel about the pay-per-view, storyline-wise.
I thought the pay-per-view was okay, but like I said, the best match was definitely the still Ospreay and Swerve match. The 0 hour matches, like I said, the Willow and Chris Statlander one.
Yeah, but that was one that had the most anticipation, seeing them wrestle each other.
I don't want to interrupt again, but I think the problem also is a lot of people have said that I don't think even though Forbidden Door is supposed to be, you know, AEW versus, you know, Japanese wrestling, it still feels more like an AEW pay-per-view more than anything.
I agree with that one.
It feels like the NJPW's wrestlers, they're like, oh, we're special guest stars, but the main wrestlers, the ones that we really care about, are the AEW guys. Like they don't get the same space of respect. You know, it just feels kind of like it's just like they're there just to be there. Just because Tony Khan wants to do a quick cash grab on the concept. That's the way I see it. I don't know. It just feels kind of like it's there. And I also feel like the Forbidden Door pay-per-views, I don't think they don't get promoted that much.
No.
Yeah.
That's why everything feels so like last minute.
Yeah. The other thing also is
the All In, there's like shit, like even like since last year to this year, you know, they're talking so much, they're hyping up so much, you know, the All In that we're gonna do it again this year, blah 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 blah. Like they really, you know, of hyping that event up. And I feel like with the Forbidden Door, it always feels like it's just like a very last minute thing.
Yeah.
Let's just do this because in the contract we have the NJPW, you know, thing going on, so we got to do it. It almost feels like it's like kind of like mandatory. Like they're just doing it because they have to do it. In a certain
Another thing is that it kind of lost a little bit of the uniqueness. Yeah, I mean, this one actually, like, I know it's supposed to be AEW X and New Japan Pro Wrestling. It felt more like AEW
Yeah,
X
CMLL.
CMLL. Basically, most of the stars and the guests were from CMLL. Because the thing is, this is like the third one right now, or not? Right, the third Forbidden Door. Yeah, it was the third one, right? Because the first one, most of them were injured. Second one, we finally had the one. Yeah, this is the third one. So the third Forbidden Door, we've already seen most of these guys, and some of them like Ospreay and Okada and all them, Shibata, they're already like signed with AEW. They're no longer like guest stars. They're already part of the main roster anyway. You know what I mean? Well, the other ones, they were like guest stars. And yeah, this one felt more like AEW X CMLL, to be honest. So
that's another thing I also want to add, because AEW does have, you know, does also have a large like Latin American following as well. So I feel like just like how they have AEW going international, that they held events in Canada, they held events in England. I feel like they should have a AEW that just even a regular event in Mexico as well. Yeah. Or any other Latin American country, but especially Mexico because they have the whole like partnership with the CMLL as well. I feel like they should also have matches in Mexico.
And that's why Mercedes should have lost her match.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, if they were smart, they'd probably do like WWE and like have expansion leagues. Like for a while there, WWE had, you know, WWE Europe, they had one in India, and they had one, I think, they had one in, let's see, they had WWE UK, they had India, and I think they had one other country. But if they were to expand that to like, you know, AEW Mexico, AEW Japan, you know, I think they'd be able to actually expand, have that title float around, and at the same time, still have enough room for the roster that they currently have sitting in the States, that half of them are sitting on a milk carton. They could ship them off to other different venues on an international level and still have them wrestle. Oh, Australia. That was the other place.
Mm-hmm. So what was the over-under in terms of...
Oh, well, that's right. Okay, so as I was saying, my opinion on this pay-per-view, I'll get to that. So anyway, like I said, the pay-per-view was okay to me. I think I said for 0-hour matches, I thought the Willow and Statlander tag teams was the best for that. Mm-hmm. The most surprising match on the card to me was Moxley versus Naito, because like I said, as much as I dog Moxley, I can actually put those feelings aside and say, okay, that was a halfway decent match. The worst match on the card to me, for the main roster, main card, I would say would be the probably the Bucks and their claim. I mean, I just know what they're capable of, and I just think that would have, for me, if I had seen it, that probably would have been the worst match for me. Honestly, I mean, because like I said, Okada doesn't give a crap. The Bucks suck. You heard Johnny. And you know, that's that. And the best match on the whole entire card, Moxley versus Swerve. Can't like to see where this is going.
Moxley, Swerve.
I mean, Swerve versus Ospreay. And here's something else too that we didn't bring up that was a problem. Most annoying problem with the pay-per-view, which is nothing new, is the camera work, especially when it continuously rotates.
Oh God, yes, they kept doing that shit. I don't know why. They kept like rotating the ring a lot during moments that either that should be more focused on what's going on, or also like the fuck are you doing? Why are you doing that? It was dizzying sometimes. Maybe like a half turn, but no, there were moments that they were rotating the whole 360 like twice in a row before coming to another shot. And like, the fuck y'all doing? The thing like, just malfunction and just got rolled on its own or something? Like, the fuck, what we all doing?
Yeah. All right, so that.
Oh, you know what? It was rotating because it was looking for sky blue.
Nah. Okay, so for the matchup here, there are 15 matches altogether. So what you mean, but 2 of the matches we didn't do predictions for. So the most points that anyone could get would have been 13. It was neck and neck between Johnny, DJF, and Panda. And the winner, as always, kind of sort of, DJF with 12.
Oh, wow.
He got all the predictions right except for the one. And let's see, after that, Johnny and Panda are tied with 11. Then I'm next with 10. Then Jack with 8. And poor Mark with 7.
Oh, God.
So your punishment is, let's see, you have to just turn around at 360 for like 5 minutes.
Oh, shit. Yeah, if I get paid that Tony Khan cash.
Well, you know what should be Mark's punishment?
What?
To wear the Young Bucks Reebok shoes.
Oh, you get those pumps. Yep, yeah, get those pumps, man.
And just a little added punishment to add on Video Game Masters, have him watch and review the KOF live action movie.
Oh. Oh, with those weird shades and the not Terry Bogard.
Okay.
Yep, Terry Bogard with the Marty McFly vest.
See, I thought I want to say he has to put up with a rap between whatever Okada trying to get in the back, just saying bitch to every other line that what's name throws down. Whichever Jackson brother was trying to, with Matthews with what's the name he said. Yeah, that you got to put up with that too.
I'm also thinking if you've probably seen Naito matches before. When he doesn't do like bloody matches, does he?
Naito?
Yeah.
No, other than like getting cut like maybe once, and I think even that was accidental. He doesn't do bloody matches.
Because I'm thinking similar to Jericho and Hogan. When he talks to like Moxley's, so you do blading and you get all cut up and stuff. Well, that doesn't work for me, brother. And maybe that's why there was no blood in that match. No, that doesn't work for me. Hold on. That doesn't work for me, brother.
Nope. Can't redeem yourself. Nope. Get the step.
What I need is to see you go.
Uh-huh. But anyways, guys, wraps up this episode of America's #1 cure for insomnia. If you have trouble sleeping, if you're having the shakes due to sleep deprivation, if you're having any other kind of symptoms that you just can't get to sleep, listen to our podcast. It'll knock you right out in the first 15 minutes. This is Mark Rodriguez here.
Ninja Panda 1980 signing out.
And this is Jupi Chan, also known as Ninja Jupi, and call me Wendy. See you guys later. Remember, do not tie yourself up in a pretzel, or do not get into a match with Zack Sabre Jr. And I'm turning this back over to the one, the only, the man of the hour, the man with the power, the man with the hat, Johnny Rodriguez.
Rodriguez. See you next time, guys.
That doesn't work for me, brother.
Go.